You talk about like, because I think that a lot of people, when they're like listing off their spiritual maturities or like their disciplines, I don't think that they would necessarily like list like manning up and taking care of your family and like figuring out how am I going to provide. And I think that just like hearing you talk about like that, you had that hopeless mindset, that poverty mindset, that woe is me mindset, or just like whatever happens to that low socioeconomic class.
Yeah.
They just kind of feel like they're stuck and they're in that rut.
Yeah.
And, it's like they focus on prayer, they'll go to church, they might be getting discipled by somebody, they might be discipling others. Like they have all these other spiritual things in their life, but they're not mature in like manning up and owning, their family's finances. So how do you view that as far as being part of spiritual maturity?
That's a great question. And I was just texting with Dr. Eric Mason, who's I've had him on my channel, and I think he's brilliant. He wrote the book Urban Apologetics. He really pastors a church out in Philadelphia, and we were having this conversation. And one of the things he said to me is, he said, sometimes our theology is experienced, meaning we experience things and we kind of form questions around our theology. He said, if you think about it, a lot of the New Testament is Paul or Peter answering questions that people had. And he said, poor people and rich people have different questions. And I was like, man, that is so spot on, that I had totally different questions as someone that's coming from poverty, single parent household, my wife coming from poverty in a foster care system. We have, not in a system, she was adopted by her best friend's mom when she was like 16, 17 legally, and then that's how we met. So we're coming from experiences where our questions are just different. How do I just always live paycheck to paycheck? This is the best that I can do with my life? Is this all my potential that God, right? So much of that is subconscious and subtle. And so much of that requires people being exposed to different ideas and different ways of thinking. And if you're coming from a middle class background, if you're coming from an upper class background, sometimes you don't know what it's like not to have food. So you're not asking the questions of like, how do I give glory to God in my finances? Because you've always kind of had this median. But if you look at 85% of America's millionaires are first generation rich, meaning they come from nothing, they become millionaires. 85%, 65% of America's billionaires with a B are first generation rich. They come from nothing, they become billionaires.
Wow.
So there's something about not having and then expanding versus, like I've always ate nutritious food and always had a car and always had a AC, right? When you don't have that, and so I think you then don't understand that you don't have the capacity to know everything your parents had to do to get you there, or everything their parents had to do to get them there. And wealth begets wealth. That's one of, I think, the pros and the cons of a free market society is wealth begets wealth. So if you understand how wealth works, it's very easy to just let it compound on top of each other. If you don't understand how wealth works, you're always just working to eat and you're never building on anything. And so I think it's a deeper question because, one, it's a question of responsibility. I believe people in North America, in the West, have a obligation to some degree to care for the poor, to care for the widow, to care for the orphan. We are in the most prosperous time I think the world has ever seen. As much as it's hard and there's wealth inequality and all these kind of things, but we are in a time where someone like me can literally go from nothing to something within a very small window. So I think there's a personal responsibility to, am I doing the most with my time, talent, and treasure per Matthew 25? I think there's a moral obligation that if I have the ability to build wealth, not just for the benefit of myself and my family, but for the benefit of others, I should. And that's the lens I'm looking at it from. And I think most people probably just haven't experienced poverty, don't know what it's like to go to poverty, and also don't know how to take their experiences and help other people. And that's what probably brings me the most amount of joy is I think that entrepreneurship kingdom entrepreneurship, ethical wealth building solves a lot of people's problems. I think it solves a lot of problems, from wealth inequality to so many different things that we're dealing with. Marriages, strained marriages, the majority of divorces are because of money fights and money trouble, right? And so if people can get a hold of their finances, and then it just impacts everything else around your life. It impacts your fitness, right? They did studies, and most people who go through the Dave Ramsey plan, who get debt free, also lose weight. That's an interesting correlation, you know?
And I've never heard that.
Because you start working that discipline muscle. You start telling yourself, no, you can't just buy this because you feel like it. No, you can't just eat this because you want it.
Hey, y'all, we hope you loved this conversation. Here at Young Married Christian, we are on a mission to see a gospel-centered home made available for every single child in the foster care system. There are 400,000 kids in the foster care system, and there are 400,000 churches in America. Wow. That is crazy. This is absolutely a solvable problem, and we want to be a part of it. If you want to join us in that mission, text the word freedom to 833-370-1610.
833-370-1610. 833-370-1610.
I just did it.
And another thing you can do that is really helpful is to smash the like button on this video.
Smash it like Satan's face. Crush it like it's Lucifer's head.
It really helps us a ton, so smash that like button, subscribe to this channel.
That's it.
Smash the like button on this video.